This episode of Two Guys Who Dive, recorded live Saturday, 16 November 2013, episode 84, our Scuba Wish List. And here we are once again after a long hiatus, back with another exciting episode of Two Guys Who Dive. And I am your host, Rob Wade, and I'm here joined with
Scuba Bob
and Greza. Say hi to everybody. Or not. Stage fright.
Yep.
Or studio fright, or whatever you call it. Oh, we've got another appearance. Here comes Ronan. Oh, I got the audio.
Uh-oh. Let me take care of that.
Take care of that. There we go. Say hi to everybody. Yes. You are so spoiled. Yes, we love our little dogs. You see a face sticking on the side of me. Here, over here. There we go. Look at that.
There you go.
It's like, what am I supposed to do with that? Yes. Yeah, we've been on quite a long hiatus because I was, of course, working on our show, Remember Me, which we'll be talking about here in a moment or two. But let's do a little catching up. What have you been doing for the past 3 weeks?
Actually, really nothing, really. I wish I could say that I've been productive, but no.
Not productive in any way, shape, or form.
No, I've been a couch potato, actually.
Really? Okay. Well, of course, I've been very, very busy with the show, and
Yes.
and those who've followed the podcast know that that takes up a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get to the last 2 weeks going into the show, the production, it gets crazy because now it's rehearsals every night that you possibly can, and those could be late nights because you've brought in the tech crew and they're learning how the lighting situation, and making adjustments. We've been practicing with fake furniture, with furniture that we have as part of the upstagers from our building called the Dungeon, but it's just for placeholder. And we thankfully get quite a bit of support from local companies, and one of them, Bell Furniture,
Yes.
graciously donated the use of some of their showroom
Great.
furniture, which a lot of the places will do that. And so they loaned us furniture, but of course they wouldn't let us have it until the week before the show. Well, when you're practicing with our stock furniture, you have a challenge in that what you may end up getting from the donated sources may be very different furniture. I mean, yes, we get a couch for a couch, chair for a chair, but we ended up with furniture that was pretty wildly different from what we're used to. Some of our blocking relied on the shape and size of the furniture. And unfortunately, that meant that we had to change some of our blocking to adjust for that. So that creates a hole. And then your lighting changes because you have to light the stage a different way in some cases. So, that created all sorts of fun craziness. But it was a good production. We had a great time with it. So, and then at work, lots of exciting things going on. Yesterday was my last day at my current position. I'm crossing over to another position, which is essentially the position I started with way back in '98.
Oh, so you've come full circle.
I've come full circle.
There you go.
So
right.
I'm excited about that. Of course, everybody was kind of sad to see me go from where I'm at now.
Right.
But I'm anxious to step into my old job, which is now a new job, because they've changed a number of things. So I'm kind of excited about being challenged with what's coming on with that. So wrapping up all the loose ends. It's not like I'm leaving the base. I'm just
moving somewhere else.
I'm owned by somebody else. But I know the phone calls will come and hey, what about this? And remember how we did this? And how that goes.
Well, speaking of which, I got a text message from Dominic, friend Dominic. Sadly, his position is being terminated on base.
Yikes.
Yeah, so he is in the process of upgrading or updating his resume. Yeah, which I'm kind of he kind of knew it was coming. He had been talking about it for a while, so I think he has an idea of where he wants to, leap off to. Hopefully, he lands on that pedal,
right?
And it works out for him. I believe that it might not even be in Texas. I think it's going to be out of state.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So if there was any chance at all to get to dive with him at all,
well, it might actually. I think he's got Florida on the mind. So if I ever go down to Florida, I got at least a place to stay.
Okay, there you go. Nice.
But hopefully everything works out for him.
Yeah.
Of course, this is kind of sudden.
Yeah.
He knew it was coming, but still, when you actually get the letter telling you, this is it. It's still, I guess, kind of.
But it's sad that we spent the last 2 years not being able to dive with him.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a shame. And I would tend to think that the reasons that he professed for not diving here would even be worse where he's going.
Exactly. Yeah, over there where he's going, there's very little clothing.
Mm-hmm.
So,
especially if you go to the South.
Yeah,
Florida.
down South Florida, down there, you might run into Sly.
That's right. That's right.
But
well, sorry to see him go.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Like I said, his plans are, right
still
now
fluid.
They're still there. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes. But hey.
Okay, so movie reviews. Did you see any movies during our hiatus?
I saw Thor.
That's it?
That's it.
You were really a couch potato, which means you never even left your house.
No, I saw Thor, and I actually saw it twice. I saw it one day after the other, actually.
Okay, so that was on my list of movies to review. So I'll get your take on it. Now, let me ask this first. Did you hang out the first time?
All the way to
the way in. So you caught both of the extra scenes. Mm-hmm. Okay. Because, we knew this first one was coming up, and I was like, you know what? I'll bet there's a second scene. And I'm sitting there waiting for the first extra scene to show up. And I quickly jumped on Bing, and I said, sure enough, there is a second scene. Stay to the end.
Right. I always stay till the lights come on.
Yeah.
Because you just never know. The movies nowadays are coming out with things at the end. Especially
whether it's a blooper reel or
especially the Marvel movies, all of them
you
have
can count on it.
Something at the end to kind of, I guess, push for the next movie. Well, there was people that got up and then some waited, and then when they saw the scene in the middle, they saw that, and then after that everybody bolted.
It's like, you silly peoples.
So, but yeah, I stayed all the way to the end. Enjoyed the movie. It was great. I actually liked it. Nothing.
No reservations at all.
None.
Yeah.
It was good. It was perfect.
As far as writing, CGI, cinematography, storyline, I really enjoyed it. In spite of the fact that I cannot stand Natalie Portman at all, I was like, "Can she please die in this movie?" But I knew they wouldn't, of course, but. I just cannot stand her as an actress. She's in the category of George Clooney, Alec Baldwin, Julia Roberts. I just am nauseated seeing them on the screen. So in spite of that, I actually was much more entertained by her sidekick.
Oh yeah,
she was hilarious.
Yeah,
she was great. I'm sorry I don't know the actress's name because she was much more memorable to me. As a character and as an actress, I just thought she played it off well. So that was a good show. I could not find really anything wrong with it.
No, I liked it. Kind of knew that when Loki, there's no way the guy can die. I mean, they're just
right. Yeah, you knew there was that. But what I still am trying to figure out is exactly how
he came back.
Yeah, how he came back. I mean, we knew that was not him who went to go see their father. But I was like, so how did he actually survive that?
The stabbing?
Yeah.
Well, I think if you look closely, there's a scene when, Thor goes back and he's talking to his father about that he cannot take the throne. And, of course, that's Loki and, this guy. When the father sits down, he kind of sits down kind of like he's having a hard time sitting down. I think he probably is hurt. He's just probably healing or something. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I'm sure he was hurt, but I was like, the way it left him on the that other realm,
Mm-hmm.
I thought, well, where was the mechanism that got him from not dead there to walking up to see their father?
Yeah, I don't know. That, well, I'm sure
maybe there's a deleted scene when that comes out on Blu-ray.
It'll come out with how it got to that. I'm pretty sure we'll figure it out, or it'll come out on the next one.
Yeah, it was kind of frustrating. I was like, oh, I knew he couldn't die because that's just not true
Right.
to the canon of the series. But loved the toss going to the collector. That was pretty cool.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool.
The collector.
And so we're definitely set up for those who followed at all any of those comics. It looks like they're pretty much set up for the Guardians of the Universe, because that's what the whole thing with the six. Well, in the comic, I think they're the 6 gems, 6 jewels, or something.
They're jewels, I believe.
Yeah.
They were jewels.
Yeah. So that's a setup for that. So very interesting. So good movie. So you have not seen Ender's Game?
No, and I'm actually not going to see it.
Why?
So you can go ahead and just. To me, I
read the book when I was in school. That was one of those classic sci-fi books that is the scale of it. You think it'll be very difficult for them to ever get it to film and do justice to how it's written. And they did leave quite a bit of stuff out, or they compressed a lot of stuff. There's a lot more about Ender's childhood, growing up with the sister and the older sister and older brother, that kind of plays into his psyche going in, and more that tells you about the history of how Earth moved into the society that's in. So they kind of accelerate you through that to just give you hints as to all of it. I was really impressed with the young actor who played Ender. It was he did a good job, and of course, he was able to like cry at the drop of a hat. So you get frustrated and everything. So I was impressed. All around, I was impressed with it. I kind of looked past the compression of time for certain things, and knowing the way the book ended, I knew the way the movie was going to end, but still, it was really well
done.
It was well presented.
There you go.
I thought, okay, this is cool. This is awesome the way they set this up. I was very impressed with it. And my favorite, as far as the visuals were concerned, I really liked the fighting in the zero gravity combat ball, if you want to, or dome, whatever you want to call it. That was pretty cool. I thought, well, that was either a lot of really good CGI or a lot of good wire work. I was like, wow, that was pretty good. Cool. So definitely a good movie. And we just picked up Man of Steel on Blu-ray. It just came out this week. So matter of fact, we watched that last night.
I didn't get the chance to see that at the movies.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Maybe I can pick it up at Blockbuster for like 99.
Aren't they all now officially closed?
Yeah, they're closed.
Matter of fact, interestingly, the last movie they got on the shelves that was available for rental, it's the end.
It's the end?
Or this is the end?
This is the end.
That's the last one. I was like, how fitting is that?
Yeah, it was perfectly fit.
Wow.
So the one here is completely closed already? They already sold everything?
My understanding is that they were supposed to all be closed this week. Now, I suppose if they got some sort of you can clear your shelves kind of thing, you might cruise by there and see if they're actually
open still.
Open to clear it off. It's funny, when I first read a couple of weeks ago that Dish was closing all of the remaining blockbusters, one of the guys I work with who always looks for the next deal, he called him immediately. He said, what? He called him immediately. He said, hey, do you have any sales going on? They're like, what? He said, yeah, do you have any, clearance sales or anything like that?
They're like, what are you talking about?
No. They said, well, no, we're not actually at liberty to discuss any of the plans going forwards. But, yeah, like, wow.
Yeah, gosh.
So, Netflix and Hoodoo. Vudu and Hulu and all those. They're just, they just eating their lunch.
I mean, just Netflix alone. I mean, it's yeah.
Although Netflix has got a lot of work to do, it's my understanding, paying for the Hulu subscription actually gets you more recent stuff than Netflix does.
Netflix, the movies that they have on there are actually they have good movies. The only thing is they're slower at making them available to you. I know that there was another one. I don't know which one. I don't know if it was Hulu, but they got the newer movies like sooner,
really quick.
Yeah, sooner. And that's the only thing I don't like.
Yeah. I mean, we use it. We're subscribers, so we use that. But I've been tempted to think about doing the Hulu one as well.
I have the one that I have, the subscription that I have is the one where I can get a DVD and I also do the unlimited streaming.
Right. I think we do it's the $7 one, I think. So it's just the streaming.
The one that I think we pay for is $15.
Yeah.
So, but there's a lot of movies actually that come out on the deal,
right?
Like on the TV, to where you're looking to stream them that aren't available. So you have to actually go online to see what movies they have. They actually have more, but they'll send them only to you on DVD. They don't have them up on.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. They should make it all available. Period.
Yep.
Whether you're streaming or whether you want to do the DVD thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, and going to see the Thor movie, of course, they had the trailer for the next Captain America.
Yeah.
That looks awesome.
Yep.
Again, with one horrible exception. The president being played by Robert Redford. He's another one that's in that category.
Oh, really?
Whoa. What just happened? Oh, just went dark. Yeah, I'm like, oh, you got to be kidding me. Robert Redford is the president. Oh. Yeah. And I think they had him. I think they cast him on there because he absolutely he's an uber liberal. Mm-hmm. So he's playing what they consider to be the stereotypical evil conservative president. The saber rattler and guns blazing. Shoot first and ask questions later. He's playing that type. So I think he's wanting to stick it to the man. So so that's why they put him in there. But in spite of that, it looked really, really immense. That's going to be an intense movie. Captain America: The Winter Soldier. That's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one.
And still limbo for Batman versus Superman. Again, I absolutely will not see that. If they stick with Ben Affleck
and Justin Bieber,
if they stick with them, I think the Bieber one was more of somebody throwing a ploy in there than him actually being cast in it. But I guarantee you, they will not have me. They will have lost me as a DC Comics guy, with the exception of TV. I am really liking Arrow.
Oh, okay.
Arrow is really good. They've brought in the Canary.
The Canary?
Yeah. They brought in the Canary, which was actually in Smallville. They brought her in.
Oh, okay.
Black Canary.
Yeah.
They brought her in, and it was an interesting twist on who this is, as it turns out to be the sister of his girlfriend, the one that he actually in the Arrow series, he snuck around behind this girl Laurel, snuck around behind her back with her older sister. Went on a yacht trip with his dad and crew and her, and got racked in a storm, ship sunk, and he thought the girl drowned. Well, it turns out she lived, and she ended up being rescued and put through all sorts of stuff and became a uber fighter like he did on this island. And so she is now the Black Canary. So it's an interesting twist on the setup there. So I'm wondering how they're going to be introducing some of the other DC characters that were part of the Arrow, the Green Arrow series. So it's pretty cool. Let's see. Something we have not done before. I'm going to do a local restaurant review.
Okay, cool. That'll work.
So here, let me give you the setup on this. So here was the situation. Tara and I were going to see. I think it was either Ender's Game or Thor. So we're going to see this movie, and we said, well, let's make a night of it. Let's go out to this new restaurant, Poppers, which is out. It's right next. It's in that same strip where our old favorite haunt used to be.
Oh, okay.
Country Market.
Yeah, that's right.
It's right there on the other side of the laundromat there in that same strip if you head out Highway 90 to the lake.
I didn't know there was anything on the other side.
Well, I happened to be catching a commercial that was talking about it, grand opening. And so we're like, oh, good, well, let's go check it out. So we went out. It was a Monday night. So we drove out there, and they're closed. They are not open Mondays or Tuesdays. I'm like, what? You've got to be kidding me. Closed on Mondays and Tuesdays. Okay, so we were frustrated, but we said, okay, well, let's plan B. We didn't really have a plan B, so we came up with a plan B, which was go to Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Okay.
So we're heading back into town, and we pass by what used to be, and again, this is only the locals here will get this. We pass by what used to be TB's, which it used to be back in the day, China Hut.
Yeah.
Well, we'd seen some work being done there. Well, they had their sign up, Blue Oasis, and
I thought it was still TB's though.
No,
they changed it. Okay,
it's Blue Oasis, and it had a banner up, now open. So we swing around, pull in there, and it was their actual grand opening.
Oh, cool.
Well, I guess not their grand opening. It was their official first opening. The night before, I guess they'd done a exclusive opening to kind of get the wait staff started and kind of just for their close friends and contributors, people who invested
family and all that.
Yeah. And so this was the first actual day they were open. And we saw all these people that we knew from, the band days and just, a lot of our peers. And really nice decor, packed with all their wait staff because they're, most of them are new. But the food was excellent. They have some seafood. They have some of the stuff that were favorites from when it was TB's.
Oh, okay.
I love the cuisine, love the prices. I was like, okay, this is going to be another potential haunt for like after church kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they also added an outdoor patio area so they can, allow the people who are the smokers like that to do their thing. So a more modern look to it. It'll be interesting to see how it develops, but we like that. So if you are in if you're in the Del Rio area looking for a new place to eat, it's got a little bit different choices for food. Head out Highway 90 West, and if you look to the left, you'll see Blue Oasis. It's right there close to the Amistad Boulevard or Kingsway exit there, and Kingsway, and it's great food. The service was awesome. They didn't hover over you, but they absolutely were attentive.
Awesome.
It was great, which I just love that. And I tip well for people who know their job, and they were very friendly, had great ideas, suggestions, always asking, how can we do this better? I'm like, that is the way you get business. So awesome. I highly recommend Blue Oasis. Eventually, we will try this Poppers thing and see how it works. We just got to catch it on a night they're open.
Blue Oasis, isn't that the friendly bar on Police Academy movies? Isn't that
Is it? I don't know.
The bar where they go in? I thought it was called the Blue Oasis.
Oh, no. I don't know. I don't think they're the same. You keep using that word. I do not think that word means what you think it means.
I don't think it means what you think it means.
But that was it. That was a pretty good restaurant. Definitely check it out. I'm surprised nobody at all is in our chat room, so we'll just keep pressing.
My name is
Inigo Montoya.
Inigo Montoya.
You killed my father. Prepare to die. That's inconceivable.
Inconceivable.
All right, so started talking about our successful run of the show, Remember Me. So I'm going to throw a couple of pictures up here if I can. Here are some shots that Tara took of our show. And this is some of the furniture donated or allowed that Bell Furniture here in Del Rio allowed us to use. So you can see it was pretty fancy.
Ooh.
Snazzy furniture. It looks like a sitcom set or something like that.
Yeah,
doesn't
it does.
have to admit, the folks putting together selecting the furniture and the design did a good job. The painting and everything was lots of fun. It took us 2 weekends to build the set, which was pretty cool. Number of ideas. Here's another shot of the director and star of the show, Kelly Jackson. She did an awesome job. Very, very talented. Well, everybody was talented. In a show with only 4 people, you better have people who know what they're doing, because there's not much to rescue you. There's no music, it's not a musical, so there's no music to rescue you.
It's just all acting.
Yep, exactly. And there were definitely little faux pas here and there, and you kind of like, okay, how are we going to get ourselves out of this mess? This was a funny scene. I play a character, at least in the first part of the show, who's not really there.
Who's not there?
Not really there. I'm her fantasy.
Okay.
And so I get away with doing things that Joel Bacon, who's on the left in this picture, could not see. And so, but he would see her interacting. So it's kind of like listening to only one half of a phone conversation. And so you're like, okay, what's he saying? There's a lot of these kind of things. So I got to kind of yuck it up a little bit, which was fun.
Is she wearing slippers, or are those just pajamas with booties?
No, that's little slippers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
That was probably the funniest scene in the show. There's a bit where, she's saying that, I need to find some way of just getting you out of my head, getting rid of you. I'm like, is that what you really want? And so then I hatch this scheme. I make the lights come down, and a mirrored ball comes down, and the lights are, it's doing the thing, and the Bee Gees, How Deep Is Your Love is playing.
Oh, so you all start dancing?
So we start dancing because it's our song. It was a great bit. So then Joel Bacon's character walks in while we're dancing and sees her in a dip, and he comes right up to her. And of course, if you realize that I'm not actually there, she's in this impossible position, bent over in a dip, and he's leaning over looking at her. What are you doing? We're dancing. It's like an impossible position. So of course that interrupts, interrupts the moment. It was a great scene. And she's trying to console him because he's feeling depressed that he's losing out to a fantasy.
Oh, yeah.
And then so he hatches a scheme to bring in an actress to play his fantasy. And so, but he doesn't actually want to do anything. He just wants to set up a scene so that when the wife walks in,
she sees it.
She sees it. Of course, it's funny because obviously this girl can be seen. I can't be. But little does he know that she's already gotten rid of me. Because she goes out on a walk in the park, in Central Park, and basically gets rid of me at that point. But then it gets even funnier because, they're sharing, you end up having a little girl talking about the whole experience with the fantasy and everything. And Joel's actually incredible, he's like, what? This is disgusting. Well, then the real ex-boyfriend shows up. And totally by accident, he's looking to sublet an apartment. And so when it's one of those where there's a knock at the door, he opens the door, and I'm like, hey, can we talk for a minute? Because I'm going to ask him some questions about the building. Mm-hmm. And Kelly's character is, oh my gosh, he's back. Is this the guy? You mean you could see him? Darn right I can. So he cold cocks me.
Oh, okay.
So we had to work out that to where it looked good from the audience. So then it starts the whole thing of, I'm totally clueless of what's happened up to this point because now I'm the real person. I'm not the fantasy.
Right.
So obviously there was a quick change involved there. And so the big discussion or reveal of all the stuff that was going on. And then ultimately I end up leaving with the actress that the husband hired. Yeah.
Okay.
And they resolve everything, get back together, and that's a big happy ending. So it's a great story.
Cool.
But using farcical type of setup for the whole thing. So it was a lot of fun. So we had a great time. We had great audiences. Opening night, the season ticket holders get a gala. We throw a gala for them, so there's free food and everything, and they come in. So they were pretty spun up. You know, we can kind of get an idea what the crowd's going to be like if they're very loud and talkative before the show.
Oh,
and they were. So we had a great opening night. The audience just really, really enjoyed it. Saturday night after opening is usually a challenge, and it was a younger crowd, and they were much more subdued. They enjoyed it, you could tell, but it was more laughing under their breath, you know, the little snicker, rather than the outright
just
laughter.
laughing. Yeah.
But then the closing weekend, both Friday and Saturday nights were just great crowds. The Friday night crowd was that second Friday night crowd was probably the most rambunctious we had. They got every joke. We kept having to stop to let the laughter, you know, because that's our paycheck. We don't get paid for this, so our paycheck is the applause and laughter. Saturday nights was almost as wild, and they got different things. I mean, that was the first crowd we've ever had that actually applauded the curtains opening.
Okay.
So it was pretty cool.
Applauded the curtains opening. They're like,
pretty,
let's get it going.
It was awesome. So we had a great time.
Cool.
So if you don't check out local live theater, you're missing out on something. You gotta check it out. There's stuff to do in Del Rio.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I mean, there is things going on.
Yep, absolutely. So DEMA had to miss DEMA because obviously it conflicted with the show that we had going on, and that was the weekend of the 8th and 9th, the closing weekend of the show. And I was checking out just kind of some things. Well, so what were the big hot items? And one of my favorite sites, Diver Wire, has let me switch the screen region here. There we go. Has the top 3 hot new products that were at the 2013 DEMA show, and you can see a picture there of one small part of the huge arena or building, warehouse, whatever that they use for the convention. It's awesome. So the first thing, I'm like, okay, this is kind of interesting.
That's nice.
Yes, the Sea Dragon by Sea Life. So Tara and I have this Sea Life DC 1400 Pro Duo camera, and you know you can attach all sorts of different things. Ours has both the video light and the strobe light. Well, Sea Life introduced this new video light. Well, I guess it's a video light. It says underwater photography, but this looks like a really compact version of the video light. Works, of course, with the mount. Does the cold shoe mount on a DC 1400. Very, very cool. Okay, so it does all. It does the photo, video, and dive light. So I guess it must be able to do a strobe action, which would eliminate the need for a second light. Or you could do 2 and get both angles without casting shadows, which is pretty cool. 2,000 lumens.
Good.
I know. Land an aircraft. Hit that thing. Flick's arm seems suitably bendy. I love that. Is that a word? Bendy. Allowing a diver to comfortably find the perfect angle. Shock-resistant casing. And I guess it was getting... And it says, Sea Life Cameras announced that they're also including a GoPro adapter.
Ooh. That
will come free with most Sea Dragon packages. So if you have a GoPro, then you can use this light with it, which is pretty cool. And we'll be seeing something else about the GoPro.
You see, and that's what I was thinking is I like the GoPro camera because now they have that cool underwater housing that comes with it. That kind of gives it like a wide angle look.
Yeah.
But you can't attach a light to it, so
you can.
Okay, yeah, I was about to say that because you're limited to the visibility or the light that's available to you. Now you're going to be able to utilize
perfect. That is great.
So yeah, that's awesome.
And interesting. Speaking of the GoPro, of course, they now have that GoPro 3 Plus.
Yeah.
I guess there's, of course, they already had apps out available for iOS and Android. Well, they just kicked out they updated the one that was on Windows Phone, and so it now works with the
3 Plus.
3 Plus. So, so regardless of which device you have, you can remote control it now, which is pretty cool. Here we go. For those who are looking for a kind of all-in-one computer watch deal, Amphos Air by Sherwood. Guess Sherwood was coming out in style with tons of stuff. I was reading a number of things where they were shotgunning everything out to have their presence known at DEMA. Let's see. Throws its hat in the air integrated computer ring. So obviously, the other piece to this would be the transmitter.
The transmitter.
So if you're looking for, if you are a fan of the Sherwood products, which they are good, the Sherwood, Genesis, they're all kind of in the same boat there. If you're a fan of the Sherwood products, you can now get, and that's a pretty stylish look.
I kind of like that. That watch.
Pretty nice.
That's pretty neat. Yeah. So it actually substitutes as a watch as well, right?
Yeah, does it all. So that's pretty cool.
That's my kind of watch.
Yeah, it says the watch itself has a simple, functional, elegant look to it, but with a large face, solid, snug band. Very cool. Nice. And speaking of the GoPro, this is kind of cool, though I would wonder about how comfortable it would be. A Go Mask by XS Scuba. So basically, it's got a integrated steel subframe to help support mounting the GoPro to it. So now I would probably suggest that it won't work or be comfortable with that light.
No.
You talk about making your head tip one way. But if you're in shallower water where you got plenty of light, this is pretty cool.
Well, then again, we don't really know what kind of weight the camera has in the water.
But still, you've got a level of resistance of tipping your head. I'd be thinking that even if it's very light, that there'd be a tendency for fast movements of your head up and down would cause it to break the seal of the mask, so you'd be dealing with the water
or
issues.
Bring it down.
So you better be good at your mask clearing skills if you're going to wear something like this, is what I'm suggesting. But that's pretty cool. You may look really geeky down there wearing this, but if you got a GoPro and you want hands-free,
why not just buy like a helmet or the headband?
Yeah. Now, I think that would be very cool if you could mount the GoPro to like your hard helmet. If you were doing had the full communication gear and everything, that would be pretty cool. That'd be awesome. So then, of course, there were tons of other things. If you want to see the highlights, you can, of course, go to the DEMA website and check it out. But see if there's any. Nope, still nobody in the chat room. Darn, too bad. So those are some of the highlights. The top 3 hot items at. I wonder what they used for deciding what
were the hot
what qualified
3?
By number of people visiting the booths or what?
Maybe questions.
That's possible. It's possible. Or do like a questionnaire.
Yeah.
So you're like going nuts on your iPad over there. What are you?
No,
you're doing homework or something?
No, actually, I have the specs for my wish list here.
Oh, good. All right, which brings us to that next point. So the title of the episode, of course, was our Scuba Wish List, and we'll let you go first. Share some of the things that you were had on your list.
Well, I kind of looking at your list, I feel a little deprived here. Naturally, the time of the year is Christmas. Yay! It's just around the corner, and depending on, I guess, where you live and the type of diving that you do, right now might be a good time because it's considered the off season because there isn't really many people that dive during the wintertime.
Right.
But if you're looking for gear right now, would probably be the best time because there's a lot of it on sale.
Yep.
So if you're looking for those, like a 3mm shorty or something for the summertime, right now would be the time to buy it because
absolutely
it's not selling, so they're trying to liquidate their stock. And also it's the end of the year, so the new products are actually coming out.
Right.
Of course, naturally, if you want to dive cold water, you need a cold water suit.
Yes, sir.
If you want to buy it in the wintertime, it's in season, so you're going to see full price of that thing.
Right.
So you got to be careful, like plan ahead and do things like that.
Exactly.
One of the things that actually has caught my eye is I haven't bought a BC in
a while.
Well, since my original BC, which is an Aqualung Pro QD.
Yeah.
It still looks brand new because I take extremely good care of my gear. But it's been looking at the new stuff that's out. It's kind of dated now. I'm like, man, I kind of want the new and up and coming, items that are coming out. Well, I actually came across the i3, the Aqualung i3.
Yeah.
Am I saying it right? Axiom. Let me bring this thing up. Okay. Of course, this is a really awesome...
there we go.
There you go. It's got everything that I'm looking for. I'm real specific when it comes to my dive equipment. Been diving already for a while, so naturally there's certain things that I look for in the gear that I use. Mm-hmm. Because of the style of diving that I do, which is pretty much random. I do everything, so I just got to make sure I have everything. Of course, some of the things that I look for are the number of D-rings.
Right.
Make sure that it's weight integrated. One of the things that really caught my eye on this is because it has the i3, which is a valve that actually controls your buoyancy, whether you
that panel on the third panel down or the second panel down on the right.
Right. It actually is a lever that controls your whether you want to go up or you want to go down, rather than actually dumping air out with your
power inflator.
There you go, power inflator. My mind went blank. I'm sorry. I'm thinking too far ahead. But the BC is actually really nice. It actually has some new features that Aqualung came out with. One of them is actually the tank strap in the back. It's called the grip lock strap. It actually is really easy to remove on and on. There's videos that I wish I could have had with me that are on YouTube and stuff like that actually show it how it comes on and off. Once you set it for the size of tank you have, you lock it in and it's adjusted to that size. So it's just a matter like a buckle. You just kind of unbuckle it like a kind of a belt buckle.
Right.
Remove the tank, put the other tank in, and you just strap it back in. There's no need for adjusting and pulling on a strap and things like that. And it also comes with a tank strap at the top, because so this way the tank actually remains like tight close to your back, so that you actually remain walking vertically straight rather than kind of hunching and things like that. They have some cool innovations. The other thing too is the actual chest strap. Now they actually have to where it's on some kind of rail system to where you can adjust it. So if it's riding too high up to your chest, you can bring it down a little bit.
Nice. Yeah,
so it's got quite a lot of features on it, which is kind of cool. The only one thing I don't like is that it doesn't come in red. I'm kind of
it looks like red. It just as far as I was able to tell, it just comes in the blue there, which I like. Of course, I would have preferred that it.
It comes in blue and it comes in gray, I believe, and black. But this baby retails for about $675. That's
comma.
But if you go to Leisure Pro right now, you can get it for about $470, and it is in stock.
Yes, I love it. That's a nice looking BC. I looked at that one as well. Yeah,
and it just has a lot of features that I'm kind of really looking forward to. The other one that I was going to actually send pictures on was the Scuba Pro, the Glide X. The only problem is it's a little more pricey, and it doesn't have the nearly half the features that this one has. So if I had to go with anyone, I'm actually a Aqualung guy, so this would be the way to roll.
Let's see.
It's a lot more expensive too.
Which one? The Glide X with Air 2?
The Air 2.
Okay. Let's switch to our screen region. We can show that. Yeah, that's what that looks like.
It starts at $740.
It's got blue.
Yeah, it's got blue and gray. Yeah. starts at $740. It does
Nice.
have a where the alternate air source, which
Yeah.
is the power inflator, actually serves as an alternate air source.
Right.
So you don't need an external octopus. It's already built into the BC, which is great.
Yeah, it's nice. Now, a feature I do like about that one that's kind of rare in BCs is the cummerbund has a zipper pocket in it.
Yeah, it's got a pocket.
I like that feature. I have yet to buy a BC that actually has that, but
And also the Aqualung, the Axiom,
yeah.
actually has something that's called a pocket in pocket. So
Pocket
yeah, there's a pocket inside of the pocket. I don't know how that kind of works. I actually need to get my hands on one so I can see it, but it has something like that. So it's got pretty cool things on
I
it.
like that. Yeah, I was looking at that really close too.
Yeah, that's if
Like
I buy a BC, that's the one I'm looking for. And at $470, that's really not bad.
Yeah, that isn't bad at all.
For everything that it's got. And trust me, if you take care of that gear, I do have Aqualung products. It'll last you.
Yep.
I've had mine going on almost 7 years now. Still looks brand new. So
All right,
now
so
that brings
what
me
else?
to my next one, which is the Legend.
Dun dun.
That's right. The LUX retails for about $1,055. However, at Leisure Pro,
if you go to Leisure Pro,
they have it for about $730.
Yep.
And yes, it is in stock.
yes.
This thing has so many. I mean, I'm just going to touch on just a couple of things that are important. If you're a diver, you know, some of the things that you want to look for. The first stage is overbalanced diaphragm, and it comes with 4 low pressure ports and
Yep.
2 high pressure ports.
Yep.
So, and of course, it has a lot more stuff that I could discuss. One of the things also that of course, we do have Legends. Both me and
Yes,
Rob
we
and I
do.
have Legends. Although I got mine first.
Yes, you did.
But it has an adjustment for breathing, which really is cool. If you're an advanced diver or you start actually diving more, it actually allows you to control the flow of air going in and out. Makes it easier to breathe at depth so that you don't have to struggle to get air in.
Talking about that area, that right there.
Yeah. And then, of course, on shallower dives, you can turn that baby down to where, you know, you're not sucking in too much air too fast.
Yeah.
Helps you control your breathing a little bit.
Yep.
You know, it's actually, I've never had to adjust it until we went on the Abyss dive, which was the first time that I actually had to. Yeah, because we were down almost 140 feet. You know, it's a little tougher to breathe.
Yeah.
But that was the only time that I've actually had to adjust it. And that's my wish list. So
Nice. All right.
All right.
So going on to mine, I also had the Axiom i3 on there, but I am pleased with my Mata's MRS BC right now. And what I really have noticed with our trips that it is insanely heavy compared to like my wife's BC.
Mm-hmm.
She's got an Aqualung BC. It's one of the LT for the
Bella?
yeah. Well, it's the version of the LT, the QLT for the women. So it's got a built-in like a sports bra, basically.
right.
Very awesome. And so I'm actually kind of more in the market right now for lighter travel type BCs. So I have been looking at the Travel Light by Cressi. And you can see it's kind of minimalist. It definitely doesn't skimp on the D-rings, but it's got all the same, basic features. It's got smaller pocket area, which is fine. When you're doing just regular travel, you don't want to be carrying a bunch of stuff and be like a Christmas tree.
Right.
But they went away from what I thought was a very horrible integrated weight system where they snapped up high and you had to basically unsnap them and they would flip down to let the weights out. They basically moved to something that's closer to the traditional
Standard,
like Aqualung does and Genesis, some of the others. So I really like this setup. It's very light. This is the lightest one. It's just under 5 pounds.
Oh, wow.
The Aqualung Axiom is 9 pounds.
Yeah, well, it's got a lot more bells and whistles.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I've been looking at this one. Let me see. What is that running right now? Oops, not there. Let's see what they're running. I get kind of an insane discount when I go through Diver Supply, but let me see what Leisure Pro's running these for. Here we go. Travel lights. Dun, dun, dun. $2.99.
You can't beat that.
I'm telling you, that's a good price. Actually, I can beat that if I buy it through Diver
Well, yeah,
Supply.
you'll probably.
But that is a great price for a Travel BC.
Robert will probably get that for about $99.
Not quite, but so if you're looking for a lightweight, good design, got plenty of lift to it, but for a decent price, that's definitely one to consider. Second choice, actually next to our Aqualung BCs, and so then this next one up, it's about 6 pounds. A little bit heavier, but one of the things that I like about this, it's the Sequest Pro LT. One of the things I like about this is the design of the oral inflator and power inflator. Mm-hmm. I like it. I like the way it wraps around the power inflator hose much nicer. It's got all the other advantages of the typical. The basic typical features of your other Aqualung and Sequest BCs, but while maintaining a very lightweight frame. And again, this is about 6 pounds. So and it's got a little bit more lift to it too. So if you're a little heavier, and you end up carrying a lot of extra lead, this would be, I think, a better option than the Cressy sub. My third option is the non-i3 version of the Axiom.
Yeah, I saw that one too.
Now, this one's about 8 pounds. So it basically loses a pound not having the integrated inflating system. Yeah. So, but everything else is virtually the same, and it's still a good-looking BC. And it's got again, I like the hose setup. Mm-hmm. Again, not lacking in any of the D-rings, etc. So it's a good setup, good looking rig. And again, I'm kind of like you. I wish it came in different colors. That would be pretty cool.
I have the Pro LT, but the older version that I got off of Lana when she was selling her.
Oh yeah.
I have. That's my backup BC. And for a while there, I actually was using that one a lot more than my Pro QD.
Oh really?
Yeah. I was using that one because it's a lot lighter, like you said, and it's just easier to.
Now going back to the Sequest, that one is $374 at Leisure Pro. That's not a bad price either. Now I think the price on the Axiom non-i3 is not bad either. See, that's 4.6. No, that's the i3. The $399.
Yep.
Not bad. Basically, you're knocking $100 off of it.
Yeah.
Or not even that. It's
about
$70 bucks. So not a large difference to add, but if the weight is the issue and you're not quite ready to jump into it is a different deal to get used to the lever.
Right. I actually tried it because Dominic does have the Pro QD i3.
Right.
The only thing is, at the time when I tried his BC on, he bought it like a little smaller. So it took me a little while to get into it because it was too small for me. But I was able to at least, try it out. And it actually is really easy to control your buoyancy.
Yeah, once you get used to that, you're like, oh man, how did I live without this?
Yeah, and one of the other things too is when you're doing the valves, in order, like when you're pulling on one of the dump valves that are located on either on the bottom of the BC or on the top shoulder, right hand shoulder of the BC, when you're pulling on one of the dumps.
Right.
To let air out of your BC with the lever, this one apparently it's new and improved. So that when you're actually gonna dump air out of it, it opens all three of them simultaneously.
Oh, nice.
So
nice even release, no matter where you're at.
No matter where you're at.
I like that.
So that's another plus. That's something that's new too, because it would only, I think if you were kind of somewhat vertical, if you were going to go up, it would actually open the top valve, and if you were kind of sort of inverted, it would open the bottom.
Now it makes me wonder though, what kind of problems could you run into with it's one thing to have it work with your left shoulder one, but to work with all three, I'm wondering what mechanically could run afoul on a dive, because that's challenging to make a mechanism that is able to release the valves on all 3 points.
Right. I'm pretty sure that I don't really know how they do it, but I know that they
elven magic.
They fixed it, but you also still have the actual manual, the actual releases in case something happens.
It's
so
elven magic.
Elven magic.
Just like the Keebler elves. All right, so
and that was another one I was looking at.
Next for me, sticking with the legend. You wanted the Lux.
Yeah. I'm
partial to purple, and so I would really like to get the Legend LX Twilight, because it's got the purple. It's got all the same features. As a matter of fact, the LX Twilight and the Lux both have the basic version and the Supreme version.
Right, that's correct.
The Supreme version basically is geared for cold water.
Yeah.
So if you want to pay extra amount, you can go to the Supreme version of either one of those, the Twilight or the Lux.
Right.
And you can get the ability for it to handle the colder weather.
Mm-hmm.
So it's basically all the same innards as the other version. It's just got the purple front end on it, and that's running about the same price. I noticed that Scuba.com, some of the other ones have it at the retail price, but it's running about the same. I think it's about $20 more to get the color, basically, is what you're paying for when you go through Leisure Pro. Mm-hmm. They just didn't have any pictures on their website for it. I was like, darn.
Yeah, I kind of saw it.
They've been revamping their website, which looks great.
It looks great.
But they got to catch up on all the pictures. Every other picture you look at is like, picture not available.
Coming or so whatever. Yeah.
Because I really like that feature. All right, so wetsuits.
Look at that.
Waterproof is just, over the past couple of years, have been revamping their line. They had, for cold water, they have the semi-dry, the SD Combat, which is on the left here, which really looks great. It's got built-in pockets and thicker wetsuits, 7 mil, but it's a semi-dry. But they've just added the SD3, which is the same, basically the same suit, but it's got the red accents, which I think are really attractive. And it's got the upper arm pockets, but it does not have the thigh pockets. So I imagine you save a little bit of money on that. But same basic styling. You see the cut and everything is about the same, but looks great. I love the way that suit looks.
I just the only problem with me is that when you buy a suit like that, it looks great. But unfortunately, you got to add a little bulge to the stomach on mine.
Well, if you go with the black one, it's not as obvious.
Yeah, I know. But
the red one would be kind of,
Yeah,
but you're working on it. You've been doing the bicycling all this time.
Got to work on it, yeah.
Okay.
Except the holiday season's coming up.
I know. That's all
diets are off. All diets are off.
It's evil. Okay, so now getting into a little bit warmer. This has got because you've got the Pinnacle. Is it the Pinnacle that has the integrated hood?
No, it's the new one that I just got.
Oh, okay. This is the new one by Waterproof, the W6 SC, and I like that it has the diagonal and the front zipper.
Yeah.
That's got my attention. That's a good looking wetsuit and warm, and I like the fact that it's a front zip.
Is that an integrated hood?
Yes, it is.
Oh, that's cool.
It is. That's why it had my attention. I was like, okay. And there's for this, Leisure Pro has this at I think 700. Let me see if I can find it again. They've added a number of they actually have some of the discontinued ones. Waterproof. Here we go. Yes. Yes, waterproof wetsuits. SD combat. Okay, 849 for that. They don't have the SD3 listed yet. Some of these are so new, they haven't made it over to the US because this is a Swedish company.
Right.
So they haven't even. So I haven't even seen the prices. I could probably find it in euros, but who buys in euros unless you're over there? And this one can't even find any prices on. It's so new. Now, an alternate. This one's brand new, and I think this one may have been on the Leisure Pro website. This one is the W4, and it's also comes in a 5 and a 7 mil. So if I eventually look to replace my 5, I might look at this. I love, again, the design on it has the same kind of features, the polyurethane texturing to it to help add protection, the pre-bent elbows and joints and everything. And that one at Leisure Pro is $399, so $400.
That's a nice suit.
That is a nice suit. Not a bad price. Too bad they didn't make us a front zip version of it, but I like that. I like the way that looks.
The thing I like about my waterproof wetsuit, and it's a 7 mil, so it's a little thicker.
Yep.
It's, I walk around like I'm in a gym diving suit. But it actually has that plush inside of it.
Yep.
Okay,
I love
so
that.
it's easy to don.
Yes.
Put on than my Pinnacle 5 mil, but my Pinnacle 5 mil actually is a lot more comfortable to me.
Yeah.
Than this one. Of course, it's thinner.
Right.
I mean, it's not as thick.
Right. Because that one's your 5 mil.
It's my 5 mil, right? But when I actually wet my suit to put it on my Pinnacle, it goes on easy. Yeah. When that thing is dry, oh my God.
Yeah.
So
those are the 3 different wetsuits that I'm interested in. Now,
I kind of like the one with the integrated hood. That one looked pretty. No.
That one? Yeah. I definitely am partial to that. I love the zip front. I know Tara's a big fan of the front zip designs. So if she were ever going to go into the cold water, this would be a good one for her. Because that looks really stylish even for the women too. So pretty cool. All right. So moving to, I am absolutely going to, one way or another, I'm going to get a couple of the purple Catalina tanks, 80 cubic foot ones. Saw one at Balmorhea this year, and my eyes were glued on that thing. So I will. Yes, it will be mine.
Oh.
It will be mine. And then adding to that, because I'm really starting to get focused more onto the self-reliant diver kind of thing. 19 cubic foot pony tank as a complete separate. I've got my spare air, which I love it, but I want a full blown pony with I've got tons of regulators, so can add a full blown regulator to it and have something that works not as an escape but as a true backup. So I'm looking at a 19 cubic foot one, which is a good size to have.
What is one run like that, a pony bottle?
Let's see what Leisure Pro has got for that. Genesis. Oops. Spelling is important. Pony bottle. Where are you? It didn't say, but let me try.
Tanks.
Genesis. Tank. Hello. Well, I know there's one way to find it. Let me sign in. Go to, here we go. They start at 92. So if you go with the 19. So Leisure Pro sells the 19 cubic foot one for $119.99. So $120. Not bad. Not bad for safety.
Yep.
For safety.
And not only that, when we get it, we can actually do the visual on it ourselves.
That's right. How awesome is that?
Yep.
And so the last thing, and this is way out there, but these are just way cool. The Lifeline by Nautilus. It is a fully submersible radio, personal radio, rescue radio, GPS and everything. Very cool. It works with VHF, which is the common radio that are on all boats. So if you are out on a dive, and matter of fact, this was inspired by a boat captain who has done a lot of the liveaboards. He runs a lot of liveaboards, and inspired by such movies as like Open Water. Mm-hmm. He said, we need something that allows divers who could be in very rough waters. It could be practically right off the back of the boat, and you can't see or hear them because of the waves, etc. Mm-hmm. It'd be easy to lose somebody in a high drift or current area, or if they just simply get lost, they come up way far from the boat. So he worked with some folks to design this, and it's pretty ingenious. I mean, you close the lid, the antenna just wraps around inside there, but when you flip it open, you can use it even with gloves on and everything. And they said the audio is awesome, the signal strength is very good, and VHF, because of the way it works, has a pretty good range to it. Mm-hmm. So the GPS coupled with the radio means you can keep in touch. You can get in touch with somebody and if you need rescued. So cool.
That is awesome.
And those are $2.99.
Not bad for life support.
Yep, absolutely.
I mean, when you start thinking about some of these things like wetsuits and gear and you start looking at prices, remember, this is your life that you're kind of sort of playing with.
Yeah.
So really, you can't put a price on that.
Yeah, $2.99 even at Leisure Pro. There it is, and you can get a nice little pouch too,
for it
for $35, $36.
I like it.
That's cool. Nice.
Yep.
Pretty cool. Oh, free pouch with purchase of the white and L GPS unit. Cool. Nice. So that's also on my wish list, since we do our little trips down to the Caribbean and other places. It's just nice to have, and especially if you're going to be a self-assisted diver, mm-hmm. you need to have that additional capability of contacting somebody if you're in trouble. Very cool. And actually, it wouldn't be a bad thing to have on a boat anyway. Imagine you're on a boat like Oliver Queen from Arrow, and it goes down. You can radio for help.
Oliver Queen. Jeez. Yeah.
Of course, you know what? If he'd had one of these, he would have been rescued, and he would have never become the Green Arrow.
There you go.
So it's actually fortuitous for the citizens of his city that he did not get rescued. It went before he did. So that's pretty awesome. So that any last ideas for a wish list from you?
Pretty
now that
much
we've discussed all this stuff.
Discussed a lot, actually. I would actually like to possibly get into, kind of like you, the underwater photography.
Yes. So much fun.
But right now, getting the BC, the regulator that I want,
right,
and maybe just a couple of little things here and there. I'm actually pretty good. The wetsuits are nice.
Yeah,
they're you can never go wrong with the wetsuit, because that's actually what allows you to get in the water.
Yeah.
So cutting corners on certain things, not too bad of a deal, but if you want comfort, you want to, of course, stay warm. You gotta splurge a little bit. Not that you have to.
Right.
You don't have to, because there's other alternatives. There's cheaper or more. Or let me rephrase it. Less inexpensive wetsuits. Not to say that the products are cheaper. They're just less expensive.
Right.
But of course, when you dive as much as Robert does, and as much as I used to, and hopefully now I'll get back into it again. We tend to dive deep. It gets cold. Yeah. So we like to stay nice and
we
nice
like to
warm.
be little snuggly and cuddly there.
Yeah, because that's what allows us to, find nice and discover cool places.
Yes.
So Yeah, I personally don't mind splurging a little bit when it comes to my gear because, again, like I said, I splurged the first time when I bought it. It's been more than 6 years now, and I still have it, and it still works.
Absolutely.
You know, as long as you maintain it, you do its servicing and everything else, it'll last. So
yeah,
that's the only thing I can say.
Cool.
The next thing I actually want is I want an LED light.
Yeah, I want to expand. Of course, now my primary and my backup are LEDs, and I love them.
Yeah, that's the only thing I would want. If I could, I would go high dollar on an underwater light because I actually do love doing night dives. Yep. So I know somebody's weird. They're like, "You like diving in the dark?" Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. And if those of you that are out there diving, who are divers and have never done a night dive, and are looking to find people to do a night dive, give Robert a call. Give us a call.
We'll do it.
Of course, not in the wintertime. It's a little chilly. But in the summertime, we have such a wonderful time.
Yep.
Now, hopefully that the water will go back up.
Well, you know what? Funny you should mention that. I was thinking about if the weather is conducive tomorrow, checking out the lake to see how 454 is doing. And I don't know. It's because it's been several weeks since I've been in the water. And the water temperature, while I'll definitely be wearing my 5 mil full, maybe even my 7. The water temperature, of course, takes a longer time to drop than land does. So I was thinking about popping out there and seeing what the water temperature is like, and I wouldn't mind pulling off a dive. So again, it depends on what the weather's like tomorrow. It's supposed to be sunny, but it was supposed to be pretty decent today, and it wasn't nearly what they were forecasting. So,
it was no 80 degree or 74 degrees or something.
Did it get that high?
No, that's what I'm saying. It was supposed to be 74.
Sure didn't feel like it.
No, it was cool.
Yeah.
So,
well, as we move into the holiday season, not everybody has, $800 to spend on a wetsuit or, that kind of stuff. But you might be looking to get a rig, a setup for that special someone who is a diver or is getting ready to become a diver. But you can't quite afford the high dollar stuff. The beauty of it is that even the less expensive gear it's designed well. It's amazing that each year it seems to get less expensive, but still gives you good quality stuff. If you look at places like Diver Supply and Leisure Pro, you will find a lot of their special package deals where you get the BC and the regulators and the console. Maybe not a computer, but the analog setup, and you can always upgrade it later. Just so you can get out there and dive, because I absolutely, and Robert will back me up on this, I absolutely stand by my statement that people who don't go out and get their gear as early as possible, they are not going to dive nearly as frequently. They'll be lucky to go out diving once a year. But if you have your gear, you're going to go out and dive.
And the other thing is, too, is if you're a newly certified diver, and I would encourage you to try to hurry up and get your own gear.
Yes.
Because you already made the investment of doing the classes and doing the training.
Right.
You will, if you don't use these skill sets, unless you do them frequently, especially if you're a new diver,
right.
You'll tend to forget a lot of them.
Yep.
And you'll have to take a refresher course to kind of, get familiarized and stuff like that. So the sooner that you can buy your gear, get in the water, you'll start honing those skills that you learned during your basic open water certification, and it just makes you that much more of a, better diver. Not only that, it also will take care of any kind of issues that you may feel that you have.
Right.
And just get them out of the way, and then once you become familiar, you just start going from there.
You can enjoy the dive.
Yeah, exactly.
You do it.
And it's like anything else, the practice makes perfect. The more that you dive, the more comfortable you become, the less fatigued you become in the water. If you become fatigued at all,
right?
Because some people just take to it naturally, but it's just a lot easier for you. And then you hopefully advance your certification level, go up to, from basic open water to advanced, from advanced to possibly rescue,
yeah,
and upwards, and just go from there.
Absolutely.
But if you don't buy your gear and you're relying on renting gear, if you live in a place where you can rent gear to dive, we don't have that here. Like Rob says, you're probably less likely to dive, and you could possibly just you're going to forget your skills.
Yeah. That's why it kind of upsets me about Dominic. He hasn't been diving for a couple 3 years, and he's got all this great gear. I mean, he went out on his gear. I mean, he spent good money on it, and to not use it just atrophies. I always have this problem. I don't dive over the winter, too much. Maybe we're lucky if I even get in at all. But I used to dive a lot in the summer. So during the winter seasons, the problem I would have is getting used to my gear again, because and I dive a lot. I have logged a lot of dives. So a little thing that I have is I have to kind of get used to my gear again. So if that happens to me and you don't only dive once a year, you're going to have issues, okay? That's right.
So try to avoid that. Try to get your own gear as soon as possible. And
this is a good time of the year to do it.
Right. And again, I started really good, but I got good gear, but I didn't get like the top of the line gear. Slowly, as my training, or should I say my skill sets, got better, and I started doing more things, and then I got more advanced. I got another certification.
Right.
I started kind of looking at things that worked better for me. So then, yes, I started upgrading, like, my regulator, my masks, my fins, little things that really do make a difference, but you don't need it right now. You can build that up.
Well, as Patty teaches the 3 E's, and it's a circular thing. You get your education, so you learn how to dive, and you learn how to do what you're going to do. Then you go out and get equipment that enables you to use those skills, and then you get experience using it.
Right.
And then you realize, okay, you learn some things about yourself, about the environments you like to dive in, so you get more education about how to best approach those new environments. Then you get the gear that goes with it. It's like, okay, well, I'd like to try night diving. Well, it's better if you get some training on how to properly go through the process of night diving. Then you get the additional gear for it, the equipment, the lights, etc. And then you go out and do it. And you find that you expand your whole world that way.
I was actually thrown into the deep end of the pool, or should I say the deep end of the lake. My second open water dive was actually a night dive with near zero visibility. I could not literally see probably 6 inches in front of my face. So, I overcame, if I had any, I overcame that real quick. Right. Of course, but it was something that we still tried it, and we dove, and I had no issues. But I don't, kind of like Robert said, everything comes. I remember when I first started diving, I wanted all these novelties, and I wanted all these things. Yeah. I looked like, Rob said, a Christmas tree. Now my diving has become so streamlined that I know exactly what I need for the area that I dive. That's it. And I know exactly where everything is. It's just get in the water, please.
So I pulled up here just an example. I'm on the email list for a number of these places. Diver Supply is one of them, and so they'll send out their little special packages. And so, you can go to their website and see some even better deals, but they kind of every so often they'll put together a specific package that has things that are very popular and that they happen to get a bunch of that make a good deal. And so they sent an email out describing a couple of good packages here. One of them is they call the special of the month, and for $4.99 you get the Edge Enduro BCD or the T2 BCD, which is more of a backfill, back inflation one. But the Edge series is it's a store brand, but I use those for the training, and our students love them. And for being a very, very low cost BC, they've got all the good features that I really prefer in them. They're weight integrated. They've got solid D rings on them. they're very lightweight. And very comfortable, and you can get them in all the different sizes. I mean, extra small to the triple XL.
We went over our wish list just a little while ago, and I mean, this is just one BC just by itself costs what this whole package costs.
Exactly.
So, I mean, of course, again, like I mentioned, we've been diving for a while, so we have special requirements for our gear.
Right.
But if you're starting out, I mean, this is the whole thing. You've got your console, you've got your regulator, octopus, BC. You're going to be set. And
it's hard to see in this image because it's so compact, but this particular setup, this package was given a Scuba Labs from Scuba Scuba Diving Magazine. They're Scuba Labs Best Buy. So if they recognize it, that means that they tested this stuff out. They found that they were good quality gear for a good value price. So you're getting the Edge regulator. It's adjustable. It's hard to tell there, but it's got it's adjustable like our Legends are.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. So this is like their premium in-store brand, but good quality, comfortable regulator, and the alternate is a standard C Elite slimline setup, and then they get their console. Now you could upgrade to a computer instead of just the depth gauge on it.
Right.
But for $500, being able to grab this and get in the water, if you already had your personal gear from going through the classes, you grab this, you're ready to dive.
You're diving.
You are in the water. Now, if you don't mind spending just $100 more, you can get what they call their travel package, and this has got. This is a little bit more lightweight setup, but it's got the T2 or the Enduro BC, so same kind of BCs as the previous package, and you get the C Elite slimline gauge, but instead of having the tandem pressure gauge, you get the Modus Puck wrist computer, which is a good basic computer, got all the basic functions, not very different at all from the Oceanic computers that I use for the training for the students, and the Edge primary, and by the way, it's got the Octoflate. So either of these BCs has got the integrated second on it.
For $100 more,
yes,
you get a computer and
an integrated
octopus
into the Powerflater.
Now that would be the buy right there.
I'm saying, that would be a good purchase to make for $600, and you're in the water with a very, very lightweight setup with only one hose hanging off for your pressure gauge, easy to tuck away, so it's streamlined, and then the one hose for your primary regulator because your alternate's built into the Powerflater.
Now
that's a pretty sweet deal.
That is a sweet deal.
So if you're one that does a lot of traveling and you want just maybe an inexpensive second setup to throw in your bag to go with you, that's a pretty good deal.
Right. For those of you that are out there who probably are done any kind of research or anything like this, please keep in mind though that all this equipment is tested. It might not be of a very popular novel brand, like say Aqualung, Scuba Pro, Sherwood, and that kind of stuff. But the manufacturing of this equipment, even though it is less expensive, still has to follow the same standards of safety and everything else.
Because it's life support.
It is life support, so it is tested. So just don't be afraid of that. Yeah. It'll serve its purpose.
Yep.
I'll
tell you, the Edge and C Elite stuff is good stuff, comfortable stuff. I use it with my students. I dive with it, just keeping it up, keeping it all in good shape and everything. Good, inexpensive stuff, but still good quality. Now, obviously, they're not designed for you to go to harsher environments.
Right.
We talked about earlier we like the Legend regulators, and they had the stock model, and then they had the Supreme model, which has it's tuned and certain components are made more hardy because they're designed to work in cold environments. Like if you're doing ice diving,
Yeah.
I wouldn't take these rigs that are in these special packages that we just showed you, those are perfect for the person who dives in most of the continental U.S., especially certainly around our area, goes diving in the Caribbean. Your typical vacation diving, those are perfect for that.
Yeah, for example, the Legends that we have, or I know mine is the Supreme.
Yeah.
It's got a built-in heater to keep the second stage from freezing up,
right.
So it continues to work because the water can actually freeze inside of it. And that's what we're talking about. So depending on the diving that you're doing, you got to plan accordingly. Obviously, we're not going to dive in ice water with gear like this. No. But of course, you shouldn't be diving.
Right.
You shouldn't be diving in ice water anyway, unless you have proper training. Right. And obviously, if you're going to go through the training, you're going to need the gear to do it.
Very true.
So, but it will function on just a day-to-day diving. So, God, man, I still can't believe the price over that.
Especially with the integrated seconds. That's awesome.
That's nice.
Yeah.
But still, it is, again, tested. So if you have that,
so it'd be a good Christmas gift for that diver in your life that doesn't have his or her gear yet.
Yeah.
So, and the thing is, you can always, if it's your starter gear and you take care of it, you can always hold on to it as a second as you upgrade. You've got now backups for things. It's always good to have spares because you'd hate to get out, you throw your gear in your vehicle and you head out to a place and you find out, oh, something happened with my main reg or my main BC. No problem. I got a backup.
Yeah. Robert teaches, he's an instructor, so he teaches classes, so he's got a wide range of sets for his students. I have a secondary set, which I mentioned earlier that I have a second BC. I bought it for various reasons, but I do have 2 complete sets of BCs. The reason that my thinking behind it is whenever I have to have my gear serviced, I send my primary gear to get serviced, and I still have gear in case, Rob says, hey, let's do a dive. I don't want to say, well, my gear's being serviced because, we've heard that before. Yeah. So I'm always ready to go. I always have another set ready to go. So that's the only thing the reason I did it. But like you said, you always have a backup set of gear. If something fails and you just can't use your primary gear, well, you have something else.
Yep.
So you don't ever want to be not out of the water.
That's right. Or
I'm sorry, not out of the water.
Yeah, exactly.
I said it right.
All right. Well, once again, we've run over time, but that's okay. Let's hit some administrivia. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, next Del Rio Dive Club meeting is on the 21st of October. Man, we're running out of the year. Right after that, we got Thanksgiving, and then we got the Christmas holidays. It's just crazy. So anyway, again, at 7 p.m. at Rudy's Restaurant. Love to see you there. They have good food there. And you might even see Robert, if he makes it, you might even see him with his little bottle of Sweet Baby Ray.
You'll see me there because I'm going to put it in my calendar right now.
There you go. Dive classes at this point are done for the year. I'll only do if it's a special request, and you're going to have to pay through the nose if you want one at this time of the year. I'll do it, but, it's tough. It is tough to do one in this time of the year. What we've got lined up as we move towards the new year, we're going to be continuing our wish list. We'll be looking probably next week at our tech wish list. So start putting together different electronic toys that you would like to see.
That's a no-brainer for me.
Yeah, I'm sure. Because there's so many neat things that are coming out, either are out now, are coming out before the holidays, are going to be out around the time of February, which is the big electronic show. So a lot of cool toys. Everybody's coming up with cool stuff. So put your list together and
I'm gonna do that.
Send that to me early because I want to try and put as much pictures and stuff like that up as possible.
We'll get working on that.
And then like we did last year for our first January show, we want to do our 2014 movie list, movies that we want to see.
The movie list.
Yeah, so start working on that.
I'll have to start looking to see.
Should be exciting. Yeah.
Okay.
One that will not be on there if it's on slate for next year will not One show that will not be on there for me is Batman versus Superman.
Oh.
That's on there. It will not be on there.
Batman versus Bieber.
The Bat Beef.
The Bat Beef.
All right. If you'd like to stay in touch with us, you can certainly visit our website, delriodiveclub.com, or interact with us on our Facebook page. Just look for Del Rio Dive Club. Or you can send us messages or via Skype Messenger. Just look for TGWD. And if you would like to interact personally with Scuba Bob.
Moi.
Yeah, that's right. You can certainly follow him on the Twitter. Just check out RS Garza at 430 RS Garza 435, or send him an email. He's still holding on to that Yahoo thing. I'm surprised you haven't moved on to some other email, but RS Garza 821 at Yahoo.
Well, you see, the thing is, I have my Google email, I have my Yahoo, I have an MSN, but they're all used for different things.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
The thing is because whenever I buy stuff online, I'll use a certain email address because then they start flooding with all
Spam.
kinds of discount things.
Yep.
And then I use another one just for business related things, and then I use one just for my personal fun things.
Cool.
So, but yeah, the Yahoo is more of my, my fun thing, which is the one that I check the most.
Good.
So,
and if you want to follow me on the Twitter, just check out Robert CFP. That's Charlie Foxtrot Piano. Or send me an email, robert.wade at setifox.net. And I can't believe that I had to remind you of my email address. Why wasn't it in your contact?
I
was like, what?
Here's the thing. I had it, but for some reason, when I updated my contact information through Facebook, it removed it.
What?
Yeah, because I guess it doesn't have. You don't have your email address associated with your Facebook account.
Sure, I do. That's the one I use for logging into my.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I don't know. It was weird.
It was weird.
But I was like, I was just making sure. I just wanted to make sure.
You were testing me, right?
I was like, see if you remembered it.
Okay, so barring any unforeseen circumstances, we will close down for tonight, and we hope to see you next week on another exciting episode of Two Guys Who Dive.
See ya.